Ruse Radio.
I feel like even in the world of hip hop, I feel like hip hop has become a lot. I like to liken it to like classic rock, right? Where it's like you had classic rock, and then it explodes into all these subgenres. Except with classic rock, we learned to call them subgenres. You call it all these different things. And I feel like I have this old school mentality with hip hop. Like I think of hip hop as an MC. Like you are a lyricist first. You are a poet in a sense, and you are writing. It's one of the purest forms of expression that you could possibly have, and that's not quite what hip hop is now. And it's not to say that it's wrong what hip hop is now. It's just that we never defined it as all these different subgenres. So there's all these things that are hip hop that I would never consider hip hop, but it's just that the world has expanded. And so it's like I'm always in this struggle of like, am I just an old man? Or is that the world has changed and I'm right? And I don't know. It's hard to tell because that's the problem with change and growing older is like you kind of do become the people that you like when you're 15, you're looking at 40-year-olds, you're like, yeah, they're out of touch. And then when you're 40, you're like, wait a minute, am I out of touch? It's hard to tell. Because maybe they were right all along. Maybe the 40-year-olds were right.
Nah, I think it's a couple of different parts, right?
Yeah.
I think because I'm right there with you too. I think like really hip hop is the youngest genre, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like it
really literally is.
It just turned 50. You know, like
wow.
It just turned 50 like last year. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so it just turned 50. And you know, people just thought hip hop was just going to be a fad, right? So I don't think the curators, I don't think the media cared to necessarily like subgenre it the way that like they would do like the way they would do rock for the most part, because like I hate this conversation, not this conversation, but like the conversation that people have, like what's hip hop, what's rap, blah blah blah, right? But like there are differences, right? So like yacht rock is different than metal, right? But then like let's say Lil Baby makes different music than MF Doom, but
of course,
but if they're nominated for Grammys, they're going to be in the same category.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So but I think that now that people are finally like having like a voice in like that bigger media space to where they can actually like make some sort of change, I feel like those subgenres are coming. We know that there are subgenres, but I don't think the media has cared enough to actually make those changes where they actually matter. Cause like I said, I'm not putting Talib Kweli in like the same genre as
like Future.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
and they're both good.
Yeah,
like that's the point.
In their space.
Yeah,
and
one doesn't detract from the other.
Yeah, and I think that is the biggest issue with hip hop music, right?
Yeah,
I feel like if think of it like dessert, right? Think of it like dessert.
I can't wait to see where you're going with this.
I'm saying so. Let me see. I'm trying to think of my favorite. I'm a fat kid. So let's see.
All the foods
that's what I'm
going
saying.
through your mind. Like, no, I can't pick that one. No, I can't pick that one.
Pumpkin pie tastes very, very different than red velvet cake. Right? They taste very, very different. But the way that the media makes it, they're putting them in the same, they're just saying it's all dessert.
Yeah.
Right? So pumpkin pie is different than red velvet cake, but the judges are only judging dessert, right? Instead of judging what's the best tasting pumpkin pie, what's the best tasting red velvet cake.
Yeah.
Right. Like I could make a pumpkin pie. You could make a pumpkin pie. Granted, I hate pumpkin pie. But
Shame on you.
yeah, I'm a sweet potato.
What kind of fat kid are you?
I'm one that likes sweet potato, you know. But you could put like more like 5 spice in your pumpkin pie, or I could put like more cinnamon in mine or something like that, right? So,
Ooh, cinnamon.
you know, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing ingredients out there, right? But like something like that could make the pumpkin pie better, right? But then I make a way better red velvet cake than I do pumpkin pie. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Beyonce is red velvet cake, or different. Jay-Z is red velvet cake.
I love this metaphor.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z is red velvet cake, right?
Yeah.
Lil Baby is pumpkin pie. In my opinion, Jay-Z is better than Lil Baby, right? 2 pumpkin pies, 1 red velvet cake. Jay-Z, red velvet cake. Lil Baby, he's pumpkin pie 1. Future is pumpkin pie 2. Why am I judging Jay-Z with Future and Lil Baby when I can judge the best pumpkin pie with Future and Lil Baby? And I can have Nas with like a pound cake or like a carrot cake or something like that. We can judge the best cake. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I feel like now people are getting there. They're getting there to where like, that's the, going back to what I was saying, that's the problem, is that everybody is judging hip hop as a dessert. Hip hop they're judging as a dessert and not by their respective.
Because all these desserts are different.
Yeah, all the desserts are different, and the media is trying to put them all in one category.
Yep.
And
the public wouldn't know any better.
And the public doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
So they're just like, you know, oh, I like dessert. I like dessert a lot.
Because who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't? What's your favorite dessert? This pumpkin pie is the best dessert that's ever made. I really, really like red velvet cake. Red velvet cake is way better than pumpkin pie. But no, pumpkin pie sells way more than red velvet cake. So pumpkin pie is better than red velvet cake. But no, the taste of red velvet cake is way better than pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about pumpkin pie? Or why are we talking about pumpkin pie more than red velvet cake? They're 2 totally different types of one's not even a batter for real. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like the way that it doesn't work like that. And I feel like the confusion with that and the way that they're trying to put it all together, it doesn't make sense. So if you put everything on the table the way that it's supposed to be made, I feel like
we all join hands and sing Kumbaya.
Exactly. And then once pumpkin pie is selling more than, this analogy is great. Pumpkin pie is selling way more than red velvet cake. Pumpkin pie is in 10 stores. You're seeing pumpkin pie in 10 stores. Red velvet cake is only in the mom and pop shops. You see what I'm saying? So since red velvet cake is at every Jewel Osco, and I can only get this red velvet cake in Pilsen, everybody can go to any Jewel Osco in Illinois or Chicago or whatever. So if they see pumpkin pie all the time, pumpkin pie is going to be better than red velvet cake. You see what I'm saying? But so some people don't even know that the red velvet cake exists. So they're going to say that the pumpkin pie is better. You know, like once, and I think that's the problem, is that like the people that know the red velvet cake, and like there's the people that can vouch for the red velvet cake and be like, yo, this is good. You should listen to this. Nah, I don't care about that red velvet cake. This pumpkin pie is hidden. This pumpkin pie is good.
Yeah.
I don't care about that red velvet cake. So I've been eating Red Velvet Cake for 20 years, and you're just going to say, F this Red Velvet Cake, and just like diminish everything, like diminish all these ingredients that I've made. You're just gonna say, oh, it's not worth anything, you know? So I feel like that's what the hip hop people, real hip hop feels about like the people who try to like categorize all of it, because like
the old heads,
pretty much the unks, right? Yeah. That's how they feel about how like the genre is being displayed, or how it's being portrayed or whatever, because like it's all there at the same time.
Then the other people will say you're stuck in the past, you can't move on.
Exactly,
all these things.
Exactly. You know, like pumpkin pie might be like the newest thing on the block or whatever, but like we've been making this since the 30s.
And it's like remembering your roots too. Like that's where we started.
Exactly.
You know, it reminds me of when Lil Pump, there was that thing where he was talking, I think it was Lil Pump, and he said, yeah, Tupac's kind of ass or whatever he said about Tupac. Yeah. And to me, that's not surprising at all. Like, of course he doesn't like Tupac. We're talking about Lil Pump.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard his music and then Tupac's music? They're just two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
He shouldn't like Tupac.
Yeah.
Like, that is not surprising. But again, it's like the way the media portrays things. You know, if you put all of it in the same box and then you say, oh, this guy doesn't like Tupac, like then you're gonna piss off all the people who are like the classic old school people, and then all the people with the new school mentality, they probably don't like Tupac either.
Yeah, like my grandma made this Red Velvet Cake. Yo, you should really try this Red Velvet Cake. Nah, that shit's out of here. We're making pumpkin pie now.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's just like, pumpkin pie, you know, I've seen it before. You know, I've tasted it before. It's whatever. But now this pumpkin pie's hidden.
Yeah.
Fuck this Red Velvet Cake. You know, I don't care. You know, so that's pretty much how it is, you know? So, you know, that's how I feel. But like,
and I think they all should just have room to breathe. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Really
we
the
should
best
all
scenario.
be in the same store.
Yeah.
Like, if you put the Red Velvet Cake not right next to the pumpkin pie, that makes no sense. But like, put it in every dessert section.
Yeah.
You know, just have all the desserts laid out. And I think that's really what it is too, because I feel like a lot of like these underground hip hop artists, like they need to have the same amount of shine that I remember. So like I said, I'm from Florida. So, you know, I'm in middle school. This is like Southern hip hop is like king. You know, this is, you know. Yeah. So I remember I could listen to the radio. I could hear like Diamonds Are Forever from Kanye. And then like maybe 2 songs after that, I could hear like Snap Your Fingers from Lil Jon. You know what I'm saying? But now like, it's just like the same sort of like, it's like the same Drake songs, like every 5 songs or whatever now. And it's like, you're not hearing this other part anymore. Like, for example, going back to Red Velvet Cake, I'm gonna make a Red Velvet Cake now. Like,
making me hungry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Red Velvet Cake used to be in all the stores. Then pumpkin pie came into the, you know, was a new kid on the block. They started selling more. So since the Red Velvet Cake wasn't selling anymore, they took it out the stores because it wasn't making them any money.
Yeah, and that's the crime against humanity there.
Exactly. You know, so that's...
Like, imagine an award show where we did that, where it was like, hey, this is the conscious hip hop award. This is the trap hip hop award. Yeah. This is the I don't know, rock hip hop award. Yeah. Because even that's a thing now. You're mixing rock and hip hop.
I mean, they just did it with country. They just did it with country because of Beyonce.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like, that's been going on for a while now with country and hip hop becoming this blend.
But like with Beyonce, you know, they had you know, when she got nominated for the Grammy for Act 2 or for Cowboy Carter, you know, they had I think it's called like classic country and progressive country or something like that. You know, so you can make new categories, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the going back to accessibility too. I feel like that's once upon a time, it's like realistically as a hip hop artist, you only had like 10 years, like you had like 10 years of like 10 years of highs, right? And then like
Yeah, if you go beyond that, you're a star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, then like after that, it's a rap. You know, so they always said hip hop was like a young man's game. You know, and for some reason, like if you were a hip hop artist and you were over the age of 37, it was a rap for you. You know, but now, you know, since everything is accessible, like you're seeing people past 50. You know, like you're seeing people past 50 that are able to put out great music. Like, for example, R.P. Trugoy, you know, De La Soul put out one of the best hip hop albums of the year. Yeah. You know, and they're all past 50. You know what I'm saying?
Andre 3000 just dropped that Flute album.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that. Like you aren't able to do stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, with the accessibility thing, it's just like and then I'm saying that to say, like there are like different genres that you're able to kind of like put that in, because, for example, Common and Pete Rock, you know, they came out with the Auditorium, I think that was last year, and you know, they're nominated for a Grammy, but I forgot who all was nominated for a Grammy that year, last year or the year before. But it was along the lines of like he's competing against like Lil Baby and like people like that or whatever. So like you have like, and they're two totally different sounding albums. Like I said, Pumpkin Pie, Red Velvet Cake. Yeah. Like there can be like, I don't know what you would call it, maybe like contemporary hip hop or something like that, or like some sort of genre category thing like that. They've been talking about it. You know, I've heard like Q-Tip say like certain things about it, saying that there needs to be like some sort of category like that. But I feel like if everybody had their own category and everybody had that same amount of shine, so where like everybody wants notoriety. You know, that's all anybody wants. They just want notoriety. You know, so if everybody was able to get some sort of notoriety and being recognized for their work, then everybody will be fine. Yeah. You know, that's it. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, and judged on the merits of what they're doing, right? Like rather than being judged in this broad sense, like being compared to something that they shouldn't be being compared to, right? Because I mean, like, you wouldn't compare those things in any other world. It's just the fact that we exist in this reality where all that stuff is in the same box. Because, you know, if you were to compare, like a lyrical rapper is just going to be different than a rapper that's going off a style. That's just different. You cannot compare those two things. If you're trying to actually realistically judge them, it's just not going to work. Yeah. Because they're just doing two completely different things. They might as well be in two different universes. And it's more fair to the artist if you do it that way. And like you said, everybody wants notoriety. I want to be judged based on what I am rather than like compared to this guy who's nothing like me. Yeah. You know, and one thing I'll see often is like people calling lyrical hip hop like cringe just because they don't like lyrical hip hop. And that's fine. You don't have to like it, but it's not inherently bad because you don't like it. And I just think that's like it's just a bad way to look at it in general, just to look at the genres. Like I've learned in myself that it's like I have this thing where I just don't be a hater. That's like my mentality. Just don't be a hater. If I don't like something, it's probably not for me. That's literally it. It probably wasn't made for me. I probably wasn't supposed to like it in the first place, and that's okay because somebody else loves it. Somebody else is that's their favorite album. That's their favorite thing ever, and it brings them joy. So who am I to then say? Now, with that being said, like there are bad things. Yeah. Like there's still like you need to be a tastemaker in a sense, and you should be able to call things out when they're bad. But also there's a lot of the time you should be able to recognize like, okay, this was just probably not made for me, and that's all right. You know, this was probably made for somebody else, and that's okay. It's like if I was to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians and get upset about it. You know, like why am I watching this show?
Been too long, I don't think I could face it. In the corner with my